So I've really been a big fan of note-taking on tablets for a while now. In fact, I'm a college student who actually uses an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil to note-take, and you know what? That works for me just fine. But there is an allure. There's something to having a dedicated device, almost like pen and paper, just for note-taking. Because while the iPad Pro is great, it ultimately is a computer. It has distractions, notifications. If you're trying to get focused on a course reading or taking notes in class, it's all too easy. I found this to, watch YouTube in the background, Netflix, maybe read some Reddit. And so the allure of a dedicated device is there. It's something. That's why I want to look at the ReMarkable 2 today. This is a product that I don't have my hands on yet. I would very much like to. ReMarkable, if you somehow watch this, send me a review copy, please. I'd really like to look at it. But it's the sequel to the first ReMarkable, which was an e-ink tablet meant for note-taking. The ReMarkable 2 is a similar kind of product, but it's kind of the classic second generation, improved in every way thing. So the first ReMarkable, from what I heard, a lot of users liked it, but there were latency problems. So it's an e-ink based tablet. An iPad and like most computer screens you're aware of are more traditional display technologies like LCD or OLED, which, are very instant, they're colorful, they're responsive, they're bright. E-ink can work in sunlight though, because it's like a Kindle. It's this kind of low, slow, but very like simple black and white response interface for a screen. And for this kind of application, it works really well because guess what? Most of my textbooks are basically black and white. When I'm reading course readings, I just want black and white. And when I'm taking notes, I don't really need color. So I like this dedicated use of the screen technology. It also lets the battery power be really high given how thin this device is. Also consider that an iPad Pro, as thin as ReMarkable of a piece of engineering as it is, has to be a full computer. The ReMarkable does not have to be. So even though this company ReMarkable does not have access to an Apple-sized R&D budget, doesn't matter because they're not making a full computer. They're just making a paper tablet. So I'm here on their website looking at this next generation paper tablet as they call it. And I know that to some of you this will just seem like instant parody because like I use pen and paper. I didn't have to spend $400 plus like $100 on a stylus to use it, right? I mean, joke's on me. Well, you don't want to know how much I spent on this iPad. But to be fair, with the iPad, it's a general computer. I can use my iPad for not just note-taking, but for watching YouTube, for doing laptop style things. You just can't do that on this ReMarkable, and you're spending a lot of money for it. So I can totally see why people would potentially not be a big fan of this at first. But you have to consider that experience matters. I mean, there's a reason that, people spend a lot of money on quality paper or pens if they're artists. And if you want to be that artisan note-taker, if you want to have a good experience note-taking, there's something to be said for having a good experience. And because of the e-ink screen and the way ReMarkable's made it, they've actually not just made it really easy on your eyes because it's e-ink and it reflects light rather than projecting it, but also because the response of it is just much better now. It's closer to an iPad. They claim somewhere around 20 milliseconds with the screen response, and they've done a lot of special things to it, which is nice. I mean, they claim that it's going to be better for sleeping than looking at a bright blue LCD screen because that's not going to emit that same kind of energy. Finally, they have magnetic accessories, including their pencil. It charges with USB-C, which is always great to see in a tech product. It has a nice folio case, and in like classic Apple style, all this stuff is very overpriced, but this is appealing to a certain kind of demographic. I don't think this is going to be for everyone, but for the people who this is for, this seems really interesting. And to be honest, I'm kind of interested in this. Don't get me wrong, I'm not in a position to spend $400 on a dedicated device. I wish I was, but I'm not right now. So I'm not sure if I'm going to pick this up. Maybe I could just buy it and return it to review it like a lot of people on YouTube seem to do, but I'm kind of skeptical about that. Anyways, this is a really intriguing device. I just wanted to make this video to look it over and also point out that it's really cool that ReMarkable has made their own operating system and integrated it with these services like Google Drive, so you can upload and scan and read your PDFs all on this device, because that's the classic Achilles heel, when you're sucked into an iOS ecosystem or to some weird app, it sucks. I really like that this seems to integrate with a bunch of stuff that I already use, like Dropbox, like Google Drive, things like that make it really easy to organize your files. It's kind of like a really modern interpretation of a dedicated device. It may not be a computer, but look, you can get a Chrome extension that lets you go to a web page on your computer, click a button, and then that syncs instantly to this thing, which is really cool. I love that, and I love the idea of reading and sketching and just using this really dedicated device with a great, pen feel. On my iPad, I had to get this paper-like screen protector to even approach something like that. And to be honest, with a paper-like, I'm not it kind of it compromises the iPad display quality a bit, and I'm sure this will still feel better because guess what? This screen is not made for watching Netflix. It's just made for note-taking and reading. And so, I don't know, there's a lot of appeal to this, and I also think the branding's clever, like ReMarkable. It's a remarkable device that puts you beyond the boundaries of traditional paper. This sounds like an advertisement. I don't know what this device is. I know it's really expensive. It's not for everyone. I don't even know how good it is, frankly. This seems like a good improvement on their first version, but I really would love to get this in my hands and see how good it is. And I also just admire any kind of startup, like I said, that can make their own operating system, make their own chip, and do all this stuff. Like, they've put a lot of work into implementing this custom product, and I respect that. In an age when everything seems to be running, it's either, Apple making an iOS device or someone using some shitty off-the-box Android chipset that they got from China. I really admire that this company is doing something on their own. And, their website's nice, as you can see that I'm scrolling through. So that's the ReMarkable 2. I just wanted to put that in your consideration as a potential device. If, you're like me, I know a lot of you watching this channel, all 250 of you, really like iPads and are into that note-taking digital lifestyle. So this is something interesting to consider that will integrate no matter what lifestyle you have, whether you're in the Apple ecosystem, Google ecosystem, because it's a more dedicated, independent device. So, in short, I really would love to review this. ReMarkable, please send me a review copy. And that's the ReMarkable 2. Give it a look and stay tuned about it. I'm gonna do that for sure, and I'm very interested to see where it goes.